G'day everybody, it's Danny here from Botany Danny, a place where we talk all things nature and plants. In this video, we are going to take two very sad looking spider plants that I've kind of found at my mum's house, which have been a little bit neglected over time, and we're going to follow their path to regeneration, regrowth, and bringing them back to their vibrant selves again. Now, a couple of months ago, I had a spider plant in my bathroom and it was also looking a little bit brown. The tips were getting brown, the leaves were dying, and then as soon as I changed the conditions, look how thriving, lush and happy it is right now. And so that's the aim of this. It's going to be a little bit of a vlog diary. We're going to try and take these very sad looking spider plants and reinvigorate them. So early this morning, I went over to my mum's house and she was showing me some of the beautiful plants that she'd been curating in her garden. I noticed there was this one plant that was in a metal hanging basket right in the corner of her garden that was directly in the full sun. And as I walked over, I noticed what species it was. It was two of these spider plants that were just hanging there that had been literally drying out. Now, it was no fault of my mum, you know, she's a lot older and, you know, she's got a lot of things on her plate. When I saw these two plants, not only did my heart break a little, but I just wanted to rescue them, and in particular this one, which looks almost as dry as a crisp. It was just something that I just wanted to take off her hands and just try and, I guess, restore a little bit of life, and I hope there's a little bit of life left in some of these spider plants. Now, the first thing I need to do is probably take it out of this pot and put it in some fresh soil. So when I saw this, I watered a little bit at my mum's house, but I think it definitely needs a little bit of work. I can see there's still some green leaves here and some new shoots coming from the middle, but in particular I'm interested in these spiderettes that are kind of stemming out. It's almost like they're searching for a shaded area or a shaded spot to try and propagate and reproduce. This second one has kind of survived a little bit better. It's even also got a little spiderette spinning out, but it definitely needs a lot more water, a little bit more filtered light, just so it can kind of bounce back. So the first thing I'm probably going to do is pull off all of these dead leaves, try and capture the root of the spider plant and also use it and plant it in a new pot. This is also going to be quite a delicate process because I don't want to damage already some of the dry roots that the plant has. It's already in such an unstable state that I want to make sure that I transfer it carefully and sensitively too. So I've also found this really cool ceramic pot that's roughly about the same size. It's also got a cool drainage hole so that when I water the spider plant, the soil can be wet but the water doesn't cause root rot later on. Time to save this little fella and take it out of its pot. It's very, very dry. This has been in the sun for a very long time, and even after decent watering, actually, look what I've noticed here. There are some pretty deep roots that are coming out from the bottom of the plant pot. This is definitely a survivor. Alright, here's the big reveal. Let's see how its roots. Ooh, it's actually got quite a good root system going. Very, very hard. It's literally tried to fill up the pot to try and access every bit of moisture that it can get. No wonder it's actually really struggling. Let's get to the root of the problem, shall we? Let's open the roots up. Free the roots a little bit. Soil is so dry. I did give this a little bit of a water, but look at that soil. Very dry. Very much in need of a repotting. Hopefully we can save it. Also going to get rid of some of these little strands on the side and just really kind of help it to create new shoots. There you go, just pull that out. It's actually got a really decent root network that we can work with. What I like to do is just water it a little bit, water the roots down. So by adding a little bit of water, it's going to at least hydrate the plant now before I put it into a new pot. So when I water my plants, I tend to not use tap water. I tend to come to my fish ponds. This is one of my pot ponds. I use a watering can. I fill it up with water and use the water from my pot pond to water my plants. That way there's no chemicals in it. As well as that, the fish in this pot pond are actually creating nutrient-rich solutions that they can use to help my plants thrive and succeed. Now it's hydrated, I'm ready to put in a little bit of water into this pot and then start by putting some premium potting mix. Put it in this new pot. And then you want to kind of top it up with some more of that rich soil to give it plenty of new nutrients that will help the plant to access it and hopefully repair some of those damaged leaves. And I also want to make sure that the water drains through to the bottom of the pot and making sure that the plant is nice and soaked, making sure that any excess water is coming out the bottom. And you can see as it drips that all the excess water is coming out, meaning that the soil remain moist but not completely flooded, which is a good thing, because one of the worst things you can do is overwater a plant that doesn't like water. In fact, if you kind of don't have holes at the bottom of your plant pots, it can actually lead to root rot and also can cause leaf damage as well in the long run. But if it's an aquatic plant that loves water, like some of the ferns in this tank, as you can see here, then feel free to fill up with as much water as you like. And now I'm going to find a spot for this plant that's going to help it actually survive. Now at the moment I'm not going to take off the spinnerets, I'm going to let them kind of sit there. But as the plant starts to grow back, I'll probably actually detach the spinnerets and repot them in another pot. I'm going to probably put them on this shaded shelf position, just so there's filtered light from up here without the harsh direct intensity of direct sunlight, because at the moment in Australia it's like 34, 36 degrees. While we're at it, I might also just pluck off some of the dead, dried pieces from this plant. Free up some of those dead leaves. Just reminds me of your friendly neighborhood spider plant. And in a couple of days, I'll give you an update and see how this little fella's doing. I just want to show you how thick these roots are. Look how much water is stored in these roots. These roots are actually little storage vessels that help the plant to store water over time so that it's got enough to actually survive. This is such a great adaptive mechanism that these plants use to try and I guess sustain the amount of water that they try to retain during those hot, dry summer periods. Put it in this nice shady spot right here. Look at this little guy. Hello, little guy. Hello, bro. Find that in Australia there's a lot of these backyard lizards. Just chillin'. Spider plant update. I was just checking on them and I've noticed that I'm a little bit concerned. Some of the leaves are turning a little bit too brown, so not sure how this is all going to pan out. We'll find out in a couple of days. Hopefully it starts springing back. Wish me luck. Noticed on this one there's a tiny little sprout just coming right on this spot here. So it's day 7. Let's see how they're faring. Ooh, It looks like there's a few new sprouts coming out, but it seems like that the spider plant is actually burning off a lot of the old leaves. There's one particular leaf on this one that's really struggling, that's actually turning completely brown. Let's check on the other one. Seems like the other one's doing the same. All the tips are slowly browning off, and they're probably going to sacrifice the leaves and probably redirect the energy into new shoots that are going to come from the center of the plant, which I can already see. Day 10, and there are some new leaves developing from the center. I think it's going to work out. I've kind of been mixing the watering a little bit. I've been mixing a little bit of pond water with tap water. I've just noticed that it prefers this really nice shaded position at the bottom of this 3T shelf, and even the spiderettes are actually springing some new leaves too, which is super cool. One thing to notice is that the spiderettes, the leaves on them are starting to extend further. Plus you're getting these new sprouts, and they're looking a lot greener and a lot healthier. Even the ones on the ends here. And from the center of the plant, we have some brand new shoots. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm just pulling out some of these old shoots that have really brown tips. I might name this particular spider plant Peter Plant. This one here, the leaves are already starting to spread out. They're looking super green, especially this spiderette here on the end. There's a heap more new shoots coming out from the center, and already I think this plant is one happy spider plant. So almost a month on, we're going to check in on those two spider plants and see how they're going. The first one is this one here. And what's really impressed me now is that there are definitely well-established brand new shoots coming out of the center, and the spinnerets are definitely thriving and ready to be detached and propagated. So I'm really super happy with the result of this plant, and I feel like I've definitely given it a new start. If we look at the second one, it is absolutely growing so well. It just loves the shady conditions, it loves the extra water. I think these spider plants are really gonna do so well in the months to come. Now, if you really enjoyed following me on my journey as I take you through some of my plants and how I look after them, please definitely give me a like and subscribe. I'd love to have a conversation with you, so if you want to ask any questions or start a discussion, write your comments in the comment section below. Otherwise, this is Danny signing out. See you next time for another Botany Danny video. Goodbye!